News has come out recently that Chris Bosh and the Miami Heat have agreed to part ways. Bosh hasn't played since February 2016 because of the blood clot issues he's been suffering from. This is a major development as he has remained in the Heat's roster as the separate parties have tried to come to an agreement. Because of this, the Heat have had to deal with Bosh's max salary cap hit, which limited their options in free agency. But all this time with Bosh sitting on the sidelines in Miami has made him fade from our memories. I'm going to delve into his career to remind you all of how elite a player he once was, and how he helped to transform the NBA into the product we see today. This may well be the story of Bosh's entire career in the event that he never plays NBA basketball again, which is a sad thought. Bosh was born in Texas and started playing basketball from a very early age. He had a successful high school career in Dallas, where he led his Lincoln High School team to a 40-0 record and the #1 ranking in the country. In 2002, he was granted McDonald's All-American honors as a power forward. Bosh then attended Georgia Tech for just 1 year, where he averaged 15.6 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, and 2.2 blocks per game. Reportedly, Bosh had intended to complete his studies at Georgia Tech and earn a degree, a promise that he made to his mother as a child. However, his level of performance as a freshman led him to make the decision to enter the 2003 NBA draft. And what a draft it was. Although it wasn't necessarily a deep draft in terms of talent in the late first round and the early second round, the top 5 picks included 4 of the best players of the 21st century: LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Bosh. Bosh went 4th overall to a struggling Toronto Raptors team that had finished with a 24-58 record in the previous season. In an uneventful 2003-2004 rookie season, Bosh earned rookie first-team honors while averaging 11.5 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, and 1.4 blocks per game. Year after year in Toronto, Bosh worked hard on his skills, and this showed in his statistical output. In the 2005-2006 season, Bosh averaged 22.5 points per game and 9.2 rebounds per game. This level of performance led to his first All-Star appearance in the following season, as a reserve for the East team. Bosh then signed a deal with the Raptors, which was a potential 4-year, $65 million deal. The following season, in 2006-2007, Bosh had a breakout year. He averaged a double-double all season, with 22.6 points per game and 10.7 rebounds per game. He was the second leading vote-getter among Eastern Conference forwards for the All-Star game, and subsequently was named starter for the East. Toronto finished that year with a winning record at 47-35. For the first time in franchise history, the Raptors won the Central Division of the NBA, and Bosh played a pivotal role in that accomplishment. The Raptors lost in the first round of the playoffs in just 6 games in a controversial series against the Nets, who were led by recently departed Vince Carter. At the end of the season, Bosh was given the honor of being second-team All-NBA. Over the next 3 seasons, from 2007 to 2009, Bosh played at least 67 games and averaged more than 20 points per game as well as 10 rebounds per game in 2 of the 3 seasons. Despite Bosh's stellar play, the Raptors were not able to perform consistently. I'd compare this to a Kevin Love in Minnesota situation, where the star player is putting up all-star caliber numbers, but the team is failing to produce wins. In arguably the best season of his career, and the last for the Raptors, Bosh had an incredible year. He averaged career highs in points and rebounds, with 24 points per game and 10.8 rebounds per game. He shot 52% from the field, 36% from 3, and 80% from the free throw line. Despite his incredible performance, the Raptors failed to make the playoffs, finishing 1 spot short of the 8th seed in the East. All of the team's struggles must have contributed to Bosh's decision to sign with another team in free agency. 2010 was a huge summer for NBA free agents, with LeBron James headlining the entire class. On July 8th, LeBron appeared on television to announce that he would sign with the Miami Heat in a moment that will be forever remembered as one of the most shocking events in NBA history.
LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, it's very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
2 days later, the Heat and the Raptors came to a sign-and-trade deal that sent Bosh to the Heat in exchange for 2 first-round draft picks. Bosh made it clear that his decision was no mark against the city of Toronto or the Raptors organization. Of the decision, he said, "Know that this was the toughest decision, mostly because Toronto has been so great to me. I've loved every minute here, and I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart." With the completion of the Heat's big three of James, Wade, and Bosh, the NBA was alive with anticipation for what this super team could achieve. They famously announced themselves to the Heat fanbase on stage with the "not one, not two" soundbite from LeBron. From the beginning, it was clear that Bosh was going to be the number 3 option on this team, given the fact that LeBron was the premier talent in the NBA and Wade was a more experienced former NBA champion from his 2006 run with Shaquille O'Neal. Therefore, as expected, Bosh's numbers took a hit during his time with the Big Three. His scoring dropped to around 18 points per game for the next 2 seasons, and his rebounds fell to around 8 per game. As expected, the Heat reached the NBA Finals in their first season together in 2010-2011. But, as everyone knows, they lost in the finals in 6 games to the Dallas Mavericks, who were led by Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk outplayed Bosh throughout the series, and he beat Bosh in pretty much every relevant category and percentage. Bosh took this loss hard, and he even cried on the way to the locker room after the loss in the final game. This just shows how seriously Bosh takes the game of basketball, and how much he cares about his and his team's performance. During the next season, in 2011-2012, the Heat and their coach Erik Spoelstra developed an early form of small ball, where Bosh played as the Heat center, despite being relatively thin compared to the other centers of the day. As you probably know, the Heat went on to win the NBA championship that year, beating the young and upcoming Oklahoma City Thunder in 5 games. Having established themselves as the best team in the NBA, the Heat once again advanced to the NBA Finals the next season after finishing with the best record in the league at 66-16. In the finals, Bosh had 2 defining plays in one game. Everyone remembers Ray Allen's series-saving corner 3 in Game 6 of the finals. But you might not remember that Chris Bosh grabbed the offensive rebound off LeBron James' missed 3-pointer. He then assisted Allen on that 3, making a smart play even under the intense pressure of that moment. In the same game, Bosh ended San Antonio's hopes of winning by blocking Danny Green's game-tying 3 attempt in overtime. Both plays are underappreciated given how pivotal they were to the series. Coming off their back-to-back championship runs, the Heat committed to the small ball style of play. This meant moving Bosh permanently to the center position, which he accepted and succeeded in. During this season, he also made a career-high 74 3-point baskets, while shooting an okay 33% from behind the line. This isn't many threes for shooting big men by 2017 standards, but it was pretty rare back in 2013. The Heat went to the finals for the 4th consecutive year, but Bosh's role was somewhat diminished, and he averaged only 14.2 points and 5.2 rebounds in the series against San Antonio, and this was part of the reason that they were dismantled in just 5 games. Once again, I'd liken Bosh's run with the Heat to Kevin Love's current situation in Cleveland. Love has taken a backup role to the 2 main players on the Cavs, LeBron and Kyrie. In doing so, he has sacrificed his numbers in exchange for the chance to win an NBA title. Bosh did the very same thing. I have no doubt that Bosh would have averaged over 20 points and 10 rebounds over these 4 seasons had he stayed with the Raptors, but he made the decision to play on a better team. After LeBron's decision to return to Cleveland, sure enough, Bosh's numbers rose back to all-star caliber levels. He signed a new deal to remain with the Heat for the next 5 years. The $118 million deal was, at the time, the most guaranteed money of any contract in the NBA. Before the All-Star break in the 2014-2015 season, Bosh averaged 21 points per game despite struggling with a serious strained calf. Then, during the All-Star break, everything changed for Bosh and his family, and from this point on, his career began to derail. Leading up to All-Star weekend, Bosh complained of pain in his ribcage. Despite this, on Saturday of that week, he won the All-Star Shooting Stars competition, and on Sunday, Bosh played a full 11 minutes in the All-Star game at Madison Square Garden. However, the following Thursday, Bosh was admitted to a hospital to undergo tests on his lungs. Shortly after, Bosh was ruled out for the remainder of the 2014-2015 season due to a blood clot on one of his lungs. The following season, Bosh returned to the court in Miami's season opener in October of 2015, recording 21 points and 10 rebounds in a win in his triumphant return to the court. Once again, Bosh played until the All-Star break, where he was voted as an All-Star reserve after averaging 19.1 points and 7.4 rebounds per game. However, due to a newly discovered blood clot in his leg, Bosh was strongly encouraged by the Miami Heat physicians to sit out the remainder of the season to avoid complications from the new clots. After another offseason, Bosh was hopeful of returning to the court for the Heat this past season. However, in a September preseason physical exam, Bosh once again failed to pass due to setbacks related to continuous blood clotting. Shortly after, Heat president Pat Riley released a statement saying that we are not working toward his return and that Bosh's career with the Heat was over. Now that Bosh has agreed to part with the Heat, we will have to wait and see if he signs with another organization, or if we must close the final chapter on a kind, humble, and elite basketball career. I hope that is not the case, but the recurring blood clot issues are not a good indicator that he will return anytime soon. Either way, Bosh will be remembered for changing the style of play in the NBA by playing as Miami's stretch 5 center, capable of shooting from 3-point range, as well as running the floor with Spoelstra's fast-paced Heat team. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to show your support, then please subscribe and like the video. If you want to help me grow the channel so I can produce more content, then be sure to share this video on any platform you like to help my channel gain some popularity. Leave a comment on what you want to see next.